Hello, how y'all doing? Welcome to How to Manage Your Monkey, Manian Devil Productions. I'm your host, David E. McClendon Sr. We'll get into our video in just a second, but first a word of prayer. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all the many blessings you bestowed upon us. Thank you for our YouTube watchers, all of our blog followers, all of our blog readers, all the publishers, publicists, authors, illustrators, merchandisers, manufacturer representatives, and others that we come in contact with via these blogs and these YouTube channels. If there's anyone out there seeking to find you, please help them to find you. It's in Jesus Christ, Yeshua's most holy and most precious name that we pray by the power of His blood. Amen. Flourish Financially, Values, Transitions, and Big Conversations by Kathy Longo CFP. This is a very different kind of financial book in that it doesn't talk about a bunch of different financial theories about what's better, stocks or bonds or mutual funds or index funds or investing in insurance, that sort of thing. It doesn't talk a lot about that. It talks about what would cause you to want to invest in those particular things. What is your money story? What makes you tick? Where is your comfort level? And about opening up the dialogue or a dialogue with your parents about their financial plans so that when the time comes, when it's necessary for final arrangements, that you know what to do and what their wishes are. You know where the different insurance policies are, the different accounts and that sort of thing, usernames and passwords, where the keys to safe deposit boxes, that sort of thing. All that sort of information, it talks about that. But it also talks about having conversations with your kids and how to teach them about money, about how it's important to actually teach these lessons, and sometimes you have to teach the hard lessons. It talks about that. It talks about having your plans, about setting up your spending plan, your budget, whatever you want to call it. And one of the things it mentions is talking about the final arrangements. And many years ago, I worked for a cemetery. Our cemetery sold pre-need burial arrangements. I was the family services manager, and what that meant was that at the time of a need, when someone had died, that I would have to talk to the family in my office about, the final arrangements. And one of the best times, one of the easiest discussions was with a family when they came in and I could say, listen, I never knew your father, but I know he was a smart man because years ago he arranged for everything. There's nothing for you to pay now. He's paid for everything. There's nothing for you to decide now. He's decided everything. The only thing you need to do is to sign authorizing us to open and close the grave to actually bury him. And that was it. And the thing about it is they'd saved a whole lot of money because when you plan ahead, when you make those arrangements ahead, you save a whole lot of grief. A whole lot of decisions have to be made by the ones you've left behind at a time when they're not really capable of making a rational decision because they're dealing with grief. And the family, typically, there's going to be arguments, that sort of thing. But when you're able to decide it ahead of time, it's less expensive. You're going to decide for yourself, hey, I don't need this huge, wonderfully magnificent mahogany coffin. All I need is this middle-of-the-road coffin. And your family will make the kind of decisions, okay, we have this insurance policy. It would be wrong not to spend most of it on the deceased here. And if you've already made that decision, you take that away from them. You keep them from having to spend money unnecessarily. A lot of times, at that point in time, people will spend money out of just grief, out of feeling wrong, and if those decisions have already been made, hey, you've saved money, you've saved heartache. And in this particular case, the people were actually happy to hear someone bragging on their father because he had made the arrangements. There was nothing to pay. He paid for the opening and closing, he paid for the marker, he paid for the coffin, he paid for the vault, he paid for everything. It was all taken care of. Now, if you've got that kind of thing all taken care of, then when you die, people are still going to be sad, but they're not having all that compounded. When you get to retirement, if you've planned, you're not having to live off of just Social Security. And let me tell you, living $4,000 below the poverty level is not nice. It's not fun. It's no day at the beach. If you get to that point where you have to do that, like we have to do that here, we're living on Social Security, and it's not fun. But if you plan ahead, if I'd planned ahead, if I'd known, if I'd understood, if somebody had spoken to me like Longo talks about speaking with the kids when I was a kid, if somebody taught me about money the way she talks about talking about money, we wouldn't be here. And that's the important part. If you start right now, no matter where you are, if you start right now planning ahead, provided that you're not already retired, you should have money in your retirement so you're not having to live off of ramen noodles or whatever. This book is very well written. It's very well thought out. It's a very important kind of book because it talks about important conversations that you need to have. We think you should give this to anybody on your gift list this holiday season. Give it to anybody at all that's an adult, anybody that's approaching retirement, anybody that's just getting started off in their working career, anybody that's got young kids that need to learn about finances. This is the book you need to have, you need to read. It's very important. We wholeheartedly recommend it, and it's time to buy it right now. Thank you. Hey, Mackenzie, I'm glad to see you finally finished packing.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't going to be able to fit all the stuff that I needed, but then I threw out all that useless bread and jelly and it all fit.
Useless bread and jelly? What am I going to eat on this trip?
Potatoes.
Potatoes? Well, I understand that there's some Irish people out there that love their potatoes. Maybe I could try some.
They're great.
Oh, cool. Mackenzie, I just bought my mom this new book. It's called Flourish Financially, and maybe she can read me some of the stuff and help teach me how to manage my money, because we're going to really need to manage our money closely on this trip.
My dad might like that.
He probably will. It teaches all kind of great things about how to plan for retirement, how to teach your children about money, and all sorts of things that everybody needs to know, even Snookies.
How much to pay your kids for an allowance?
Yeah, it does talk about that.
Cool!
Well, Mackenzie, let's get going. Maybe we'll get to the bookstore in time to buy one for your dad.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye! Ready to order? Click the link below.